A friend of mine who loved the healing process of counselling often said about painful memories, if you're going to bury something, make sure that it's dead. Because if it isn't, it will certainly come back to haunt you. And when it does, it will be ugly. Who was it said, we must learn to dance with our demons, or our demons will dance with us? John and I think they were spot on. Even so, I've been troubled with the thought that publishing our story might awaken old pain for our friends who were part of Violent Zion. Nevertheless, we have done so convinced the story had to be told, and so to protect others, names have been changed. To those who have expressed concern for us, for my wife, Meg, for our 3 older children, Grace and Naomi, who are here tonight, and Ruth, who is not here tonight, and I have to tell you about that, and our younger son, Joseph, their concern for each of us. Thank you for your concern. I think with some humour, we'll get through. But again, we think it's important the story be told. I should say that our daughter Ruth and her husband George have apologised that they couldn't come tonight. Their daughter Stephanie said to me, she whispered, she said she wanted to come, she wanted to be here tonight. And I understand that, and I was disappointed that she couldn't make it. But I think the problem is that her parents, only being 5 days as parents, old, couldn't come. Never mind. Never mind. Meg and I will sit down and talk to Stephanie and tell her everything that happened. Publishing this book is the beginning of a new journey for us. Putting flesh on a skeleton that's been in a closet. Most of us grew up in a time when every family had skeletons in the closet. There were things that, you wouldn't talk about in your family's history. They were skeletons. They weren't meant to be talked about. Well, what we want to do is put flesh on that skeleton and help it walk out of the closet on its own. Because we think it'll help some other people. And probably help us as well. Destructive cult stories, just like stories of any kind relating to abuse within churches, faith groups or families, should in some way be told so that we can learn lessons from them and prevent their reoccurrence. What you will read in the pages of My Brother's Eyes is a story about a cancer that is in society, a cancer in the mind. You can find symptoms in every area of society, churches, politics, sport, the workplace, and family too. When society should empower its own, often it doesn't. When groups within it confuse the message of what it is to be truly human, and to be truly human is measured by one word: love. St. Paul, I think, would understand that. And I think that's what he was saying. Destructive cults only serve to show us what the cancer is like when it's fully developed. Hopefully, through understanding, we can learn how to keep what is good and rid our world of what isn't. No one needs cancer. Our hope is to draw attention to it with both the book and a website we've created, one that we want to be a living and growing thing. It's a very serious website that has given us great fun. If any of you have visited it, you would know that the website is www.goodsects.com.au. We refer to it as Sex No X. I get so much fun out of that website. I love giving my email address to people, and they say, "What is your email address?" And they're looking at me quite seriously, and I'll say, david@goodsex.com.au. The looks that they give me, it's kind of quite strange. They're really not sure how to speak to me. In fact, recently I spoke to somebody who's actually with us tonight, and I'm not going to embarrass them. But I said to this person, talking about the website, "Are you into good sex?" And the answer given was, "Well, I used to be, but it's been a very long I think the creation of that website is one of the better things that I've done in recent years. And John and I will continue to get a lot of fun out of it. But we hope that through the fun, there'll be some good things that can come about because of it. Now, the word sect is not necessarily bad. Neither is the word cult. Early Christianity was referred to as the Jewish sect. Good sects is probably most interested in the original Latin secta, from sequi, to follow, meaning an organised religious body or organisation, from Latin meaning a course of action or way of life. It's interesting, the early Christians were referred to as the way. The way. The more we talk about this, the more difficult it will be for sad people like Violet Pryor. And really, she was probably the saddest in this story. The she-devil. To deceive others or be deceived themselves by the lure of spiritual power that wounds and can even kill. Recently, a dear friend of mine and some of you in this room tonight took his own life. Harold was a rabbi who decided his Jewish faith could not be complete without adherence to the one he referred to as the Jewish Messiah, Yeshua, or Jesus. Now, his decision cost him greatly, and in the end his depression became terminal. You see, religion, I believe, should be accepting of others. It should welcome difference. It should never shun those who believe differently. Love doesn't need any qualifications. Shunning, as John told us, is horrible and it is never loving. Unfortunately, poor Harold came to experience that, and it was too much. And I wish he was here tonight, because he would have enjoyed tonight. There are many people who change faiths and find themselves ostracised by family and friends because they have chosen to leave behind one faith for another. Any religion, be it Christian or otherwise, that refuses to love has lost the point of what it is to be truly human. For me, reliving my family's 16-year journey was tough at times, as you can imagine. And I am so grateful that I didn't have to do it on my own. The truth is, I don't think I would have taken it. I would have been able to complete this book. I wouldn't, without my dear co-writer, my brother John. Thank you, John. We share a certain offbeat sense of humour, and it surely has got us through. As John recently reminded me that seeing those years through both our eyes is just like the song you heard. Joni Mitchell's great song, With Both Sides Now, we found each other. And being 10 years apart in age, probably for the first time. There are two sides to every story. The experience of writing this book together has been cathartic for both of us. Now, whilst John blames Violet, you will find he is prone to call her, as he has, the she-devil, for much of the pain our family endured, and it was great. As our sister Janet, who's sitting at the back, could tell you, it was great. As my wife Meg could tell you,